Ari, you said you've got one decent sized article.
Yeah, it fits into today.
Fits into today. Okay. And do we got Smooth Ass John? Is he in the studio for weather?
Smooth as John is in the studio.
Mary, you get to meet Smooth Ass John today to do the weather. He usually does the weather for us when Dave is out.
Our intern, John.
Nobody ever sees him, but he's here. Anyway, here, let me get some music on for these guys.
I'm just a man on his way to the moon, wishing the rocket would go faster. All the stars remind me of you, yeah they do. I'm on my way to you. I'm just a man on his way to the moon, wishing the rocket would go faster. All the stars remind me of you, yeah they do. I'm on my way to you.
March 7th, 8th, March 8th.
Today is the 8th.
Is it? Check in.
It's the
Good
8th.
morning. Shout out Facebook, everybody for tuning in. We got 10 viewers. Hey, good morning. This is the Canna-Joe Morning Show live special edition with a special guest for International Women's Day. I'll let her introduce herself. I'm Michael Ford.
I'm Alicia, the producer.
And I'm Vari the man.
Yeah. And we have Maren, Joyce Schroeder. Maren, you want to say hi?
Hey, Maren Schroeder, policy director.
Morning,
Nerd person. Morning.
So she's joining us from the real verse today. So only our second time ever having somebody in. So thank you for joining us today, Maren. I think we got a dope show ahead of us today. Vari, you got an article for us? We'll start there.
So, being International Women's Day, I figured it'd be great if we had an article that was discussing women in marijuana.
Dope.
So, there's a documentary that is profiling women in weed as female leadership in cannabis drops. So, yeah, Lady Buds, filmmaker, says women are being squeezed out of the business. In creating a feature-length documentary called Lady Buds, filmmaker Chris Russo wanted to show that women have been the backbone of the cannabis industry for decades, long before legalization began sweeping the country. The film, newly released on premium cable channel Stars after a lauded run on the U.S. festival circuit, may also end up becoming a rally cry to boost female representation in C-suites and ownership ranks. Lady Buds follows a diverse group of 6 women in various parts of the weed business in Northern California. The film includes the play on words tagline, "It's all about the females," referring to the fact that only female marijuana plants produce potent THC buds and flowers. I like that.
True.
When shooting for the documentary began in 2017, women made up 37% of the senior leadership in the cannabis industry, according to MJ Biz Daily. But as the film launches on TV, that number has dipped to 22%, putting the industry lower than the national average of 30% female executives. Women own about 20% of American cannabis businesses, per MJ Biz Daily's recent report. The numbers are slightly higher in states like Nevada at 25%, but lag significantly in places like Ohio at 10% and Massachusetts at just 5%. That backdrop makes the film extremely timely and somewhat urgent, Russo told Adweek, noting that female entrepreneurs have been squeezed out by deep-pocketed multi-state operators and hobbled by limited access to financing, not to mention sky-high taxes and strict regulations. Ironically, and worth noting, women consumers are among the fastest growing and most coveted demographic for cannabis, with their numbers swelling 55% over the last 2 years, per researcher Headset. Canna-Tech firm Akerna reports that women made up 38.3% of the market in 2021, an increase of 3.3% since 2019. A market of sisterhood. I think those numbers are kind of telling. Like that's pretty. Yeah.
Those
Don't
numbers,
get that click.
those numbers are crazy. I attended a Women Grow event in 2017, and at that time, the cannabis industry had more women CEOs than the business, like than the rest of the industries. So that's nuts. Like,
That it
sorry,
dropped
I
that.
wrote that down.
And that's crazy that it dropped that much.
Drastically.
Do you think it's because of the big corporations coming in and taking over the smaller shops,
Oh, for sure.
squeezing out the industry?
Yeah, I think so.
Got some clickbait, Vari. Get that money, man.
So as part of the promotion around Ladybuds, which has scored a rare 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the producers have joined forces with two female-centric brands, the Sava Cannabis Delivery Service and Josephine and Billy's Dispensary. The San Francisco-based Sava, a female, queer, and Latinx-owned company with an ongoing commitment to boost BIPOC and women-owned brands, is offering a $30 discount on orders with coupon code LADYBUDS. The brand is also selling a limited edition box of THC-laced goodies curated by the Ladybuds team. The products come from women-funded brands like Sonder, Garden Society, Sonoma Hills Farm, and Arcana, and Kikoko.
Coco.
Vari, I see the
Trailer.
is there a way that we can pop that into the restream if they want to, or do you want to just drop it in the link?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me do my
That was a good
The
article,
magic
right?
fingers. Listen, is that the end of it?
No, it goes
it
on.
goes
There's
There's
more.
more. There's more.
More. You want to watch the documentary, or do you want? or the,
Let's go ahead and read, and then we'll drop it in the link if people want to check out the documentary.
Okay.
The ad. It's an
Yeah.
official trailer for the
The
movie.
trailer. I think I saw part of that. I think I started watching it. I
Oh,
watch
okay.
all cannabis documentaries, all cannabis shows.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. You educate
Yeah.
yourself that way.
I wish I watched more. I don't watch as much as I should. Maybe I
Yeah.
should put the dumbbells down for a minute and pay attention to something other than my muscles. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Vari.
And in Los Angeles, Josephine and Billy's ties into the film with displays in its Jazz Age themed store. The retailer's name is a homage to Josephine Baker and Billie Holiday, and owners refer to it as a tea pad in 1920s lingo. 20s. There's also a special spotlight on Arcana, the brand owned and run by Chia Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Is that right?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Okay. Yeah. Whose Mendocino County
Farm is featured in the documentary.
With purchase of
The
the
highlighted brands at either part.
The highlighted consumers get a link to a live Q&A session with the filmmakers and stars to celebrate International Women's
Day today.
Oh, today. Hey.
Yeah, right on time.
So did we get the link or did we not?
No, you had to buy a product. And then you
Yeah.
get the link.
Well, we can't buy products here, huh?
That's bull crap.
Yeah. Legal market.
Russo,
I hope it's Russo.
It looks like Russo. It kind of looks like the spelling of the dude from Karate Kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Russo?
Mm-hmm.
Russo, who interviewed more than 100 potential subjects before choosing the film stars,
Wanted to show a range of professionals
whose stories conveyed universal themes, she said. The director-producer is aiming for a wide audience with the doc, which gives an intimate look at women's lives and work, and wants to further destigmatize cannabis as more states continue to legalize, but federal prohibition remains in place.
Lady Buds
joins a number of small Kings of Kush on A&E's Vice Network and growing Belushi on Discovery Channel as original cannabis content digs further into mainstream media.
Not only has Lady Buds been a hit with critics and gathered an armload of festivals, also spawned at least two more projects, a reality show and a feature-length comedy. That's cool. The unscripted series will center around a 71-year-old Sue Taylor, also known as Mama Sue, held to open the senior-centric dispensary in Lady Buds. Wally Eltawashi, executive producer of the Showtime documentary On the Go-Go's, is developing the show. The movie will come from production company Hellcat, headed by former WME and content executive Pippa Lambert. It's described as a comedy in the vein of Bridesmaids, with an inclusive cast set in the cannabis cultivation world. Lambert, speaking to Deadline, called the legacy cannabis growers depicted in Lady Buds as dynamic as they are diverse, and they're truly inspiring. I'm thrilled to be bringing their story, a true and still unfolding David and Goliath tale for our times of life on the big screen.
So,
Yeah, so I think they said that was going to be on Stars.
On Stars. Oh, I got Stars. Yeah, I know we watched everything on the TV. Like, I'm waiting for new stuff to come out. I'm gonna watch stuff we don't even want to watch. Like, what the heck is
I
this?
just start back watching like old stuff, like Blue Streak and all of that.
Right.
I messed that up.
What'd you mess up?
Meant to do this. Right, so I got to do this.
Okay.
All right. We're going to get it. See, why is it doing that? Come on, you stupid mouse.
Man, you must have that high-tech technology mouse. You know, you got to use the low-tech stuff because the high-tech stuff is subject to
Just high for no reason.
Doing whatever.
Say, I got this, I can do it myself.
Wow. Okay.
commercial.
Oh my God, I hate this stupid thing. I wonder if like my thing is tracking with my thing. All right.
Around here is the land owns you, you don't own the land.
This is the most incredible plant on the planet.
This is actually medicine.
I've seen healing. I can't turn my...
As a recreational use of marijuana.
We are the Buzz Sisters. We did that so good.
I'm a second generation cannabis farmer. My dad would say things like, make sure you don't tell anybody.
I own 2 restaurants in New York City.
My goal in the cannabis, small family farmers. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey of a lifetime geared to the needs of seniors.
Hi, my name's Felicia. I am a LGBT and cannabis.
Illegal getting harder.
Plants don't have office hours.
Do something that scares you every day.
You have to learn how to be bold and stand up for yourself.
Small pot farmers say the state is not standing by it.
We'll be there to confront what it is we need to.
Big business is barking all around our heels right now, and they're more skilled and they've got more money.
Only to survive.
This is a
I had a panic attack.
When you do all you could do and you still get a no.
Are you willing to go to jail and lose everything?
I'm dying to fight this just because of the social injustice.
A person whose family life was ruined. Yeah.
Get that piece of the pie back. That was wrong.
Pioneers at this point.
Don't let anything stop you. Love you, Mama.
All right. Well, hopefully the audio was all right.
I was hearing it. Michael was coming.
Oh, Mike's here. All right. I wonder if
Yeah, I think the live stream stopped, maybe. I can look.
Oh, okay. So we're, oh, there he is. He's making his way back. All right. In the meantime, good morning.
Wow. Sorry about that, guys, man. I lost connection to my controller. I didn't turn my light on, so I lost my tracking. Sorry about that. But I did switch it to the video, so they did watch the video and they did hear it. Sorry about these horrible morning today, man. Everything's glitchy. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. She said, oh, it's all good. Camille said live stream is still going. It's all good. We're back. Oh, sorry guys about those technical difficulties. So we do got a few minutes left. So before we get to our special guests here, we do have a couple of things coming up. If you do want to get involved in cannabis legalization, there will be a Minnesota Normal monthly meeting March 19th. We're going to be going over the things that we're going to be doing this year, including fundraising opportunities to get involved with legalization. If you do want to get involved in the process, please go to MNnormal or minnormal.com to get more info. You can also find them on Meetup. In addition, there's no other events this month, is there? No. So we do have a special guest today for International Women's Day. Now that we've got our glitches all figured out, I'd like to introduce to you guys Maren Schroeder, with Policy Director with Sensible Change Minnesota. How you doing, Maren?
I'm all right. Early morning for me. You guys know that.
How's it going? So tell us a little more about Sensible for those that don't know about Sensible Change.
Yeah, so we formed in late 2018, worked extensively on small incremental medical cannabis changes. We've also worked on the full legalization. We've put support behind a couple other like drug policy bills. And we've got a couple of hearings tonight on some bills that we're backing. One is led by us. One is led by Kurt Hanna with Minnesota Normal.
Oh, and what are those bills about? I think we talked a little bit about them yesterday, you guys, but Maren could tell you a little bit more on her bill as well as the bill with Kurt Hanna.
Yeah, so my bill is HF 883. It modifies the definition of drug paraphernalia to exclude items that test the strength, purity, or composition, I can't remember what the language is, of a controlled substance. So last year, Minnesota passed a law that legalized fentanyl testing strips so that people could check their fentanyl. But what they didn't do was legalize all drug checking tools, which we need to amend that definition in its entirety in order to do that effectively. So the bill we have tonight up for hearing does that. It excludes all of those tools for drug checking from the definition of drug paraphernalia. So hopefully we can get more tools out to people and keep them, you know, alive and out of the hospital because they know what they're consuming. There's some really cool research out of Europe that when people have found adulterants in their drugs using these tools, they either use less or they don't use them at all. Really effective.
So is it currently illegal to have a testing kit?
Yeah, it is. It's drug paraphernalia. So like Safe does reagent kits, which is like 6 different chemicals that you can test, and the colors correspond with different chemicals, and those are illegal in Minnesota right now, and that's what we're trying to change.
Why do they sell them in the pharmacies and stuff if we can't test?
Do they sell them in the pharmacy? Where do they?
I mean, I don't know.
The drug testing kits?
Like UA kits, like for like.
Well, the UA kits don't test the substance itself, and that's what's illegal is the to test the substance itself.
Oh, like the little tester kits they be having when they arrest you and stuff. Oh my gosh.
So we're like, can you even get access to those? Like,
how do you get it?
Where do you find?
On the line, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's an organization called Dance Safe that sells a lot of those. I did their training a couple of years ago. It's all about like setting up tents at festivals and providing harm reduction services. It's really cool.
So at those festivals, do they actually give out the kits?
They do it in a tent. So like the person doing the drug testing has the kit, because a kit can do, I don't remember how many tests, but like, let's say one kit can do 50 tests.
Wow.
So someone buys something that they think is MDMA, they can go into the tent, have it checked, find out, is it actually MDMA or is it bath salts and meth?
Yeah.
So they test the stuff themselves in the tent.
Yeah.
And then like there's not somebody that watches the tents like, hey, what did it test?
Right.
Is it?
Right.
Yep, come get them.
Yeah, I mean the volunteers typically like it's self-reporting. And there's like another law change, right? That like people providing services to people who use drugs should not be prosecuted for possessing drugs. Like that's a whole other issue. But yeah, I mean, we have the ability to provide some of those services and allow for self-reports, and it's been really effective in Europe. But it's very much considered drug paraphernalia in most of the United States.
And then the second bill is decrim.
Yeah.
And what is that one about?
Yeah, so I've got our little one pager up because this bill's got a lot of components to it.
I know Kurt was talking about that last night. The one pager, he was like, did we get a one pager up? Or
yeah, I made him a one pager because he had about a 4-pager. So that bill reduces the penalty for possession of a small personal amount up to 8 grams of non-flower THC products like edibles, wax, topicals, and reduces that to a petty misdemeanor.
Which is a ticket, right?
Sorry, what?
Which is just a ticket, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what the rest of the bill makes it just a ticket. Because it removes the drug education program requirement and driver's license revocation for that small amount petty misdemeanor. The drug education program component of our current law is actually problematic and makes me say, well, it's kind of a ticket because some courts have viewed that as making it a crime. I don't know the technicalities. I'm not a lawyer, but that's the argument made. It allows
Yeah, go ahead, Mary. I think Tom was talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, Tom's a good person to explain that.
Being a true petty misdemeanor, right?
Yeah. It allows the expungement of records for individuals with felony records if the charge would no longer be a felony under this law. So anybody that has a felony for possessing 8 grams or less of non-flower mixtures would be eligible for an expungement, and that is huge.
So people that got caught with like vapes, or if they had a small amount of liquid left in their vape, I mean, vapes are generally only 1 gram, right?
Yeah.
Wax pen.
Wax pen. So anybody that got caught with that, because I know people got felonies for getting caught with those vapes. Like
over a 1/4 gram of a mixture is a felony.
Like you just stick with a flower.
Right.
As long as it's not from the medical cannabis program, because if you got medical cannabis without a prescription, then it's also a felony. Is that right?
It is.
So if you got medical cannabis, don't share it.
Yeah.
Well, don't get caught sharing it at least.
Right. That conversation we had the other night of like, if I pack a pipe with my medical cannabis and I pass it to you, it's a felony. But if you pack it with illicit market cannabis and pass it to me, it's a petty misdemeanor. Like
oh my goodness.
Like, so you get a ticket if you pass weed for free.
Right. Yeah. This is stupid. Full legalization is what really deals with this, but unfortunately that's not where we're at yet.
Yeah, so can you get a certain amount of petty misdemeanors that eventually turn into a misdemeanor?
I don't think so on the small amount. That's a good question. I know on the drug paraphernalia, the answer is yes. I think it's 3 petty misdemeanors and then it escalates to a misdemeanor.
Well,
I don't have that one pager in front of me right now, but that's definitely a thing.
Right. So anyway, well, thank you for jumping on with us for International Women's Day today, Mary. And I do want to lift you up and thank you for all the work that you've been doing for legalization in Minnesota, not only with the medical stuff as well as with full legalization. If you guys don't know, I think marriage started around 2014. Right. And she was with MN Normal originally. And then she is one of those individuals who actually left MN Normal and went on and actually created her own organization. And she wanted to see some change. So instead of just, giving up, she went and created her own organization, and they're doing instrumental stuff in the legalization movement in Minnesota, lobbying behind the scenes with legislators, helping out with people to speak and tell their stories, and committee hearings and meetings. Like, she's doing tons of stuff. So if you guys don't follow Maren yet, make sure you go check her out on Facebook. Make sure you go check out Sensible Change Minnesota. They're doing great stuff for patients. I think you said you're working on something to help register patients for medical cannabis, possibly. So keep your eyes open for that. I don't know the details yet. I'm not sure if Maren wants to share all the details, but keep your ears open and for more details on that. And I think that's it. Maren, do you have any words of wisdom for us today?
I mean, the only thing I would add is that, like, when we talk about improving the medical program, the most obvious change right now is adding more manufacturers. And I'm at this point just plugging that there is a bill coming ASAP. We should meet committee deadline for it. Not showing my hand as to what's in that bill yet, but I think most patients and consumers will be satisfied with the legislation that's been written. That doesn't mean we'll get it past the finish line, but I think we've got a good chance of at least expanding the market as it is now this year.
Yeah, because we do have a horrible duopoly in Minnesota. And apparently the medical cannabis businesses aren't even owned by Minnesotans anymore, are they?
Vireo's sale is not final until the fall, but Leafline is now owned by Green Thumb Industries out of Illinois. Vireo is being sold to Verano out of Illinois. And that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the duopoly. The Vireo sale is worth $416 million. That includes all of the states they operate in. I think there's 4. But there's a really shitty audio clip I caught with an interview with their chief investment officer at Verano, talking about how Minnesota is like the silver lining cash cow of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to read, like, if you really want to follow my real opinion about things, Twitter.
Yeah. What's your Twitter handle, Maren?
Maren Joyce.
Maren Joyce on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if you're on Twitter, go on there and check out Maren Joyce to follow her tweets on medical and the stuff going on in Minnesota. Yeah, we've had a lot of conversation on our show about the medical cannabis program. We've had Jeff Rinkman was one of the first people we brought from the Real Verse. It's horrible, man. We've got, I don't know. It was supposed to be Minnesota growers. And now, yeah, I actually have some inside information I'd like to share with you as well, Maren. So if you got time, we can connect or something. But with that, thank you guys for tuning in to the show today. Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. Shout out Alicia George. We're missing Jenny. Camille's on a fishing trip. Shout out Alicia Lee.
Shout out Alicia.
And all the women out there doing the thing for the world, not only just for cannabis, for, mothers, families. Anyway, we're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're out of here.
Peace.
I'm just a